Good morning. This is Lou Federici. I am here on behalf of our first selectman, Matt Hoey, who is out of town today, and we are here for the Monday, November 5th, 2018, regularly scheduled Board of Selectmen meeting. And if we could lead off with the Pledge of Allegiance. Charlie, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We can start with public forum. Is anyone here who would like to speak on public forum, limited to 3 minutes on any agenda item? Anyone? No? Double check? No? Okay, thank you. Board, I'd like to have a motion to add an item, I guess it would be under 4, we could make it 4.2. There's an email we received from Rick Maynard regarding an upgrade to the HVAC system in the community center. Can I have a motion to add that to the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. And then if we could lead off with approving the minutes of the October 15th meeting. Any motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or comments?
No.
Flawless minutes, thank you. Everybody set? Okay, that's great, thank you. So, motion to approve the minutes. I'll call the question. Approve the minutes?
Aye.
All in
Aye.
favor? Aye. All right, thanks. Brings us to 4.1. Consider and take possible action to waive the bidding and purchase of Ford F-50 and a Ford 550 truck. Rick Maynard?
Good morning.
Good morning.
So we have a budget of $114,000 to purchase 2 trucks this year, an F-550 to replace an old rotted out one, and an F-150, which has big chunks of metal coming out of it. It's kind of like a Flintstone mobile. Pretty soon the floorboards are going to be gone. Anyway, those were approved in the budget, and we got quotes. Crowley Ford is a company that has a state bid. However, Tasker Ford, which is another Connecticut company, has Rhode Island state bid, and their cost is less by about around $1,300 roughly for the combination of the 2 trucks. So we wanted to request, according to Pam, the purchasing policy is you go with the state bid, but it's a Rhode Island state bid, and I believe we're okay doing that. I understand other towns have done that, bought it off the Rhode Island bid. Again, it's a Connecticut
Just
company.
slow down for 1
Let me just
second.
interrupt for a second.
Sure.
So technically what you're doing is you're voting on waiving
Right.
the purchasing policy as to that, because the purchasing policy, you're allowed to award under Connecticut state bid, but not other states.
Right.
There's other consortiums that are allowed, but this isn't that. So you're just, if you so choose, you will vote to waive the purchasing policy. If you
And
convince
I'd
us you
just like to add to that there was some exchange about this earlier, before this meeting last week, and I sent that email around to everybody. Right, you had a chance to look at that? Okay, so Rick,
Yeah,
you're
so.
proposing we waive the bid.
We
save
waived
this
it, we
$1,300.
saved some money, and the company, the body of, the Ford is Ford, and the body is what makes a lot of difference, and the body that's put on by the company from Tasco, which is the other company, it's a Downeaster body. I talked to Ralph Casey about it. He's convinced it's a better quality body than what the other the Connecticut company is offering. And so, I mean, that's what's gonna last longer, you know, it's not gonna rot out as fast. It's stainless, they're both stainless steel, but this is just a better quality. And so, you know, I gotta go along with what his opinion and knowledge is and expertise in these things. And so, and it does save us about $1,300.
And the purpose of that truck? You're talking about the truck body?
It's a
and-
dump truck,
Okay.
yeah.
And you use
But it's
it for sanding as well?
Sanding, plowing, it's got a plow, comes with it, a V-plow, a sander, that's all part of the price.
Where is Tasca located versus?
Berlin,
Crowley?
I think it's Berlin.
The memo said Berlin, so I
Okay,
guess I was
so
gonna-
as far as getting
Yeah.
them service, it's not a logistics.
No. In their service here anyway, our mechanics service them. If we ever had to go
Talking about
back to a
warranty
dealer,
work.
yeah, we would go to, it's Berlin.
So in effect, we're still buying from a location in Connecticut. It's
Correct.
just that the bid is
coming from Rhode Island.
Right.
So how did you find out that the other vendor that was the Rhode Island state bid had a better product at a lower price? Do you routinely check that, or how did that come about?
The body. The body's the same body we've been getting, the Downeaster, and the guys know it's a good body. The other one's called an Iroquois body. We have less familiarity with it. And again, looking at the specs of that body versus the Downeaster, Ralph Casey thought the Downeaster is a better body.
Okay.
So Ralph, the answer to the question is Ralph knew about this other company and the equipment they were offering.
Right.
And the product that the vendor on the Connecticut bid had wasn't what you wanted, really?
Right,
So
correct.
you looked
The
further
body's
for it.
different.
Okay.
So this is maybe a tiny bit confusing. They're both Connecticut truck dealers.
Yes.
One just happens to be approved for the
Correct.
Rhode Island
It's
contract.
not really relevant for us anyways, really, because we're just,
I'm scratching my head a little bit about the mechanics of
Yeah.
going with the Rhode Island bid. Why can't Tasca just bid less than the Connecticut? Why can't we just get bids and they come in less than the Connecticut state bid?
Yeah.
And it'd be
Well,
done.
We were going off their state bid, but they do have, Tasca does have state bid on some vehicles, like cars and
But
economy.
you're missing my point. I'm just simply talking about the mechanics of how we have to waive the bid and things like that. Why couldn't we just simply ask for bids for X, Y, Z dealers and Tasca just use the numbers that they're using?
I don't know, it's a good question. I don't know, Pam is getting.
Would it save anything? I mean, this is no big deal. I don't want to waste a lot of time on it.
That's a
but-
good
No,
question.
it's-
though.
The way the
It is.
purchasing policy works is if something is worth 25,000 and more, you have to go out to public bidding where we get bids, have an opening here, we publish in the register. But also, in addition to that, you can award, without having to go through that cost and expense time, if there's something you like on the state bids, where the state had solicited bids from various trucks, but the state awarded, and for whatever reason, they awarded to Crowley. I don't know whether Tasca,
So,
tried to participate in that and lost that bid award, I don't know.
So by doing what we're doing this morning, or potentially doing this morning, all we're doing is sidestepping some of the mechanics of going out to bid.
Absolutely.
right.
That's all
That's what
we're
you're doing.
You know, that's
Yeah.
what we're doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And saving money and getting a better product.
Well, we don't know if we go out to bid.
True enough.
Yeah.
But otherwise, we would have been buying off of the state, potentially.
No,
buying-
not if we went out to bid. We don't know what we'd be paying.
Right.
Which is the case every time that we buy from the state bid.
And sometimes,
It's-
Usually the
sometimes the
state is
board
as
has
good as you
decided
get,
that
but-
they think that they might be able to get better prices by not just relying on the state bid. That has definitely happened.
Yeah.
So that is
Okay,
part of the
I
decision.
just wanted to understand it.
Yeah.
It just seemed complicated, but now it would be more complicated, so let's just, I'll move it.
Fair enough.
I'll second it.
Okay. So we are voting to, just so we're clear, waive the bidding process and purchase this truck from the Connecticut vendor that has an approved Rhode Island
Number.
number in an effort for the reasons set forth by Rec.
And the total price is $107,724.
Great. Okay, any
So we're
further
under budget.
questions or comments? All in favor of that motion?
Aye.
Any opposed? No? That one passes, thank you. Rick, I guess you're gonna get to have two in a row, right? We added to the agenda your questions regarding the HVAC system in the community center.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask Steve Neidorf to come up. Steve's a little bit more involved in this, but this is part of the, Steve, pipe in here, part of the, what is it, energy efficiency?
Energy efficiency, yes.
Ah.
And Matt's aware of this, but it's upgrading. We've been starting last year with VAV, which is variable air volume boxes. They're part of the controller for the controlling system up in the ceiling, but Steve, you can give more detail.
The whole system is original to the building, 25 years old. It's time to upgrade them. Put in a plan for over 3 years, replace a third each year. We did a third last year. We're coming forward to get a third done this year. We'll be backing in next year for the last third. This will be all new VAV boxes. They'll all have CO2 sensors. It'll upgrade the entire system to where it'll be good again for probably another, 20, 25 years.
It's the same mechanicals, just happens to be staggered out over 3 years. We're not gonna have a situation where one part of the building has one and another has.
No, that's what we're doing, is these were the older style VAV boxes, which they
Yeah.
do not make anymore.
Right.
So it's hard to get parts and stuff
Yeah.
now, so we are upgrading to the newer ones, which, there's a lot less moving parts that can go wrong with them.
And all the new ones, despite the fact that the year that they're gonna be the same.
Yes, they should be. Last year, we already
they
did
should
a whole, well, I don't know what train's gonna do. Next year, they may
Right.
change, but I
Right.
don't perceive that to be the,
So
an issue.
this year's the same as last year?
Correct.
Okay.
So if we're paying for them from a grant, not from our budget, why don't we do them all at the same time? Why spread it out?
I guess we could. That was something I talked to Matt about. Would you rather spread it out or do it all at once?
If you do it all at once, you know they're all the same.
And the only understanding then is over 25,000. It's got to all go out to bid, right?
Even on the grant?
It's,
The problem is it's trained. They're proprietary, and it's very hard to get anybody to bid against it. You know, anybody else would have to go to them anyways to get the equipment, and would have to have them come in house to actually program everything. So it's kind of a tough situation.
Well, kind of knocks out a middleman, because again, the parts are their parts.
Yeah.
That's true.
And they do this. Mary Jane?
What grant are we talking that this is being paid from?
That's the 200,000 that's set aside every year for energy efficiency.
It's not a grant,
It's
we're
not
not
a grant.
receiving a grant for this is bonded funds that we put away each year
Okay.
for this. Just wanted to
All right,
clarify that.
thank you.
Specific account.
Okay.
So maybe that's the reason it's over 3 years,
Correct.
because the money was bonded
Correct.
over 3 years.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
That makes,
yeah.
Thank you. Okay. Seems to make sense. Any further question on this item? Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Thanks. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none. Motion passes. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we're trucking and we got a train.
Oh, jeez. Thank you for that.
you've been dying to say that.
So that brings us to item 5, discuss and take possible action to authorize the first selectman to award bid number 4-1819 diesel fuel number 2, heating fuel oil and unleaded gasoline, after bids are received on November 8th at 11.
yes. Good morning.
Good
morning. As we've done pretty much every year around this time, we have put out to bid the various fuels, diesel fuel, heating fuel oil, and unleaded gasoline for both the schools and the town. The way these bids work is the bidders only hold their price for an hour. So that is why, because the market is so volatile, so that is why, you know, the purpose today is for you to authorize Matt to award within that hour. And what happens, as in the past years, is representatives from the schools also come, and we get the bids, and in an hour we discuss the bids and the amounts and make decisions about, or, you know, Matt makes decisions with the schools about whether to you know, award a fixed price, whether to award a floating price that you could fix at a later date. The bid is set up with various options. Just so you know, since we've been talking about state contracts, the state also has fuel bids that they award, but historically, we have not awarded under the state contract because they do not deal with fixed prices, they do a floating. So whenever you need, whatever fuel you need, you buy, and whatever the price is that day, that's your price. With some kind of discount factor. I mean, the bidders on the state level bid some kind of discount factor, and that's how they get awarded. So this is the current contract expires June 30th. So this is really for the next fiscal year, but we usually do it around this time. If it just come to our attention that, you know, the prices will go higher in December and January and February, the winter months, we may try to do it next summer. That was something Matt was thinking about for the following fiscal year. And when Matt considers these on Thursday, he doesn't have to award. You know, it's one of So we'll see how they come in. And that's it.
Okay. Go ahead.
So the time period that we're purchasing for
Is July 1, 2019 through June 30th, 2020.
okay.
And East River was awarded, has actually been the low bidder the last several years, so.
I'll move it.
Okay,
Second.
thank you. Is there a broker, like what information do you gather to figure out what's the best deal?
A lot.
Years ago, like 2008, we looked at hiring a broker, you know, and the broker, you know,
Gets a fee.
we interviewed some people, the broker's fee, you know, years ago, I thought it was like $7,000 or whatever. And it was decided not to pursue that, to hire a broker for those purposes. You know, we look at how other towns, you know, now we're pretty much been doing the same route each year, but you know, 5 years ago we looked at what other towns are doing. You know, you try to. We looked at Krog also has some bidding.
Yeah.
We compared, like Krog's bidding is on a different time frame, but nonetheless we looked at what their results were based on what we got under our different time frame, and we did better last year than whatever Krog got. So that's how we check ourselves. And the reality is, we don't have the sophistication to know the market well enough. I mean, you know, you could do a broker, but you know, it's just one of those things that
haven't.
you take a chance. Sometimes, you know, if the prices are high, we might go floating if we think that based on what's happening in Saudi Arabia or whatever, you know, that they may drop, then, but pretty much we've done fixed the last few years.
Right, right.
Have we ever looked at doing this with another town to increase our volume?
I think we did, yes, we did that. Again, it was in the 2008-9 range. I forget who the contact was at Madison. And we did pursue that a bit. And that, again, also, I can't really have to like pull my old notes
Yeah,
on
yeah.
that. But for whatever reason,
It
that
didn't make
we
sense at the
do it.
time.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think that's a worthy thing to try to do, actually.
I wonder if it'd be worth the phone call between now and the 8th.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, I could do that. Well, you know, they may, I'll certainly look into that, you know, they may have already awarded, you know,
Of
there's all
course,
sorts
but
of
I
things,
mean,
but let's
you
find
know,
out,
you get,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
3 neighboring towns,
Yeah.
it's worth
Yeah.
the question, I mean,
Yep.
their timing might not be on the 8th or something like that too, so
Right.
it might not work, but it'd be interesting to make the phone call to see if it potentially.
I'll do that.
And it seems to me that the motion as it's structured would give the first selectman the authority to enter into a group
Yes.
town. I mean, you
Yeah,
know, it's
yeah.
to award the bid for those fuels after they're received on November 8th at 11. I mean, you know, if it turns out that there's a consortium that you're able to construct, it's fine.
Well, I think the reality is that his authorization for Thursday is really based on this public bid. If based on a call, I find out from Madison, yeah, they might be interested, then we would literally go out to bid with them. And so it'd be a different, and then there'd be a different authorization
Oh.
at that time.
Okay.
You know, because you have to
Because that
publish.
might change the
Yeah,
whole
you
thing.
got timing issues.
Yeah, publish,
Yeah.
you know.
Worth asking the question.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it is.
I mean,
Okay, so as it stands, we're gonna authorize there's a motion on the floor to authorize the first selectman to enter in a bid for this town.
To award, if he
To
so
award it,
chooses.
if it seems appropriate.
Yeah,
Okay?
exactly.
Any further
I
questions
think I
or
already
comments?
moved it,
It's
so.
already been
Yep.
made.
Yeah, we
All
just
right.
need to vote on it.
So, call the question, all in favor of
Aye.
the motion as stated?
Aye.
Any opposed? No, hearing none. Sounds like a go. Thanks, Pam.
Thank you.
So it appears we have another conservation easement. Item 6, consider and take possible action to set a town meeting for December 3rd at 8:15 at the Guilford Town Hall to vote on acquiring a conservation easement for Long Hill Estates West subdivision. Assessors Map 57, Lot 205, in accordance with the General Statute 47-42C and Town Charter 7-7. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. You're up again.
You want a little
Yeah.
insight about what you're
Great.
doing here? The Planning and Zoning Commission has been quite busy over the past couple months there with
Good.
subdivisions coming into town here. This is another one here up on Long Hill Road, just north of Baldwin School. Alpha Avenue's down here. This is just north of it. This is the west side of the Smith property up Long Hill Road. They have a 4-lot subdivision going in with 3 facing lots on Long Hill Road and 1 coming off of Woodland Road. They are proposing a 1.8 acre conservation easement on this northern piece of the subdivision there. The total area of the subdivision is 8 acres. This conservation easement is only included on one of the lots there, and that lot itself is 4 acres in size.
The easement lots.
The easement lot is 4 acres in size, correct. The whole subdivision is 8 acres.
Where's the
1.8
shaded
out
areas
of
for
Yeah.
that?
This here,
No, the red, the pink.
the pink, these are due to planning and zoning. This is the building squares that to show like
So where's the existing house?
the existing what?
Smith House?
That's across the street. This is a subdivision on the west
That's
side
the
there.
other
They
one
owned
across- That's
a
right.
smaller
Oh, for sure,
piece,
you're right,
hay
okay.
lot across the
Yeah,
street
yeah,
there.
yeah.
And people tell me they used to park cars there when they
Hmm.
did the Christmas trees there.
Didn't realize
Yeah.
it was so big, it went all the way down out that street there.
Yeah, connects back around there.
So it's almost half of the one lot.
It is
And nothing
roughly
in
half of
the
that one
residence
lot
office.
there. The conservation easement came under the recommendations from the Wetlands Commission to the Planning and Zoning Commission, who approved it, and then went to Land Acquisition, who also endorsed the conservation easement there also, so now it's
And
recommended
that-
to town meeting.
That is not contiguous to any, like the back, like say the easement was the back lot, is that contiguous, still not contiguous to anything?
No, this is another residential area there too.
Yeah, yeah.
We were trying to work with the property owner, to take a conservation easement on to get fee in lieu, to get other additional land, and kind of work with land maybe across the street.
Mm.
But they weren't in favor of that at the time, so I went with a conservation easement there.
So what does that actually do for the town of Guilford?
It protects this piece here from development, protects water quality within this area here.
Are those,
And it
are they
provides
wells
a,
up there?
what's that?
Are they wells?
Yes, this is wells in this neighborhood here. So it goes into 2 things.
I mean,
Protecting-
it's a lot on Long Hill Road, I mean, it's obviously, yeah, I'm not gonna micromanage planning and zoning, it's just that
Yeah,
if you're not,
it's not really a buildable lot, 'cause you have wetlands here, very little area here, and
oh, there is
Wetlands.
wetlands on that lot,
the
oh,
the
okay.
blue arrows here.
I was gonna ask what those are.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
okay.
Yeah, so the blue arrows here are wetlands.
So how is
But the
this
lot-
building lot in the back?
They squeeze themselves into an area without going across it and stuff to get to their lot there.
Wow. So everything outside of those diamonds is
Yep.
wetlands?
The diamonds point, the points of the arrow or triangle head points
Oh,
towards the
okay,
wetlands
so
there.
when I was asking about contiguous, but there is substantial wetlands on it.
Yeah, substantial
Oh,
wetlands,
okay.
wetlands through here, and it continues back through here. It actually provides like a wildlife corridor from this side. You have an open area here, which then goes back into a wooded area.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Back there also.
Yeah,
Okay, that
yeah.
makes more sense, okay.
This totally makes sense to me, but you said something interesting that that the town was interested in receiving the fee in lieu of this, and that the developer didn't like that idea. Who gets to choose?
They were looking, planning on clarifying the regulations, but it's vague right now, and we're looking to clarify it, so planning and zoning makes that.
Well, the
I
choice
would
of the
hope so.
developer is pay the money or don't get the development. So that's the,
Right, but in this case, the developer preferred to do it this way, instead of paying the money.
It all
right,
sounds
but
like
the
a-
choice is,
Thanks.
yeah.
There's
Yeah.
actually a statute,
There, okay.
okay, and I'm pretty sure, I don't have it in front of me, that it's a may, you may, developer, pay a fee
Oh,
in lieu of, it's not a,
so it is up to him.
it's not a shall.
Okay.
Pretty sure, but it's
All right.
definitely a statute, and,
So planning and zoning can't go any further in
Can't
enforcing something
trump,
beyond what the
yes, they
statute
can't trump what the
authorizes
statute
then.
says on that, correct.
And you gotta
So they get
tiptoe
one or the
around that, because you end up in a situation where developers that can afford it pay for things that, environmentally, we might prefer in particular instances.
Yeah, that's
And now
true.
that,
That's true.
Kevin's described the wetlands, there's a logic to this empty lot on Long Hill Road. I mean, at
Yeah.
first, I was scratching my head a little bit about, why we have one empty lot between substantial residential development.
And if you notice on Long Hill Road there, across from Alpha Beta and through there, there is a large area of empty lots there, which is wetlands through there, which actually the town actually owns.
Right.
town
There
owns
are
or has
strips
easements?
of,
Owns, because of, we believe, looking into it due to basically taxes. Where the town picked up the land due to failure to pay taxes, because it's not developable, so they just kind of
Walked away.
walked away,
Away.
correct.
I see.
yeah, but if it's not developable, that's a good way to,
It's open space.
It's open
Yeah.
space, correct.
Yeah.
not
Okay.
developable
Right.
for a reason.
Sounds
And
good.
this will follow the same conservation easement documents that we talked about this morning. at the town meeting here.
Just so, I'm sort of curious, how voluminous are those? I mean, I'd be sort of curious to see them.
Yeah, we
Not
can
necessarily
forward
for
your
today, but if you
copy.
could send them around,
They're
that'd
not
be.
in your, they should be in the packet, yeah, on the board pack,
Oh,
board pack.
Yeah.
so- oh, I see, subdivision map approval?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it goes in a bunch of whereas, therefores, and then
Okay.
it goes into grantee rights, and then grantor covenants, reserved rights for the grantor, and then violations.
No, I guess I don't have.
No, I don't, I see the letter.
P&Z approval.
Okay, we
but
can,
I'll forward you the rest.
That'd be great.
Sorry.
Okay, that's all right, thanks.
Right.
We can go
Yeah,
into
it's
detail if you want, but I'm not sure if you want to sit.
So what's that?
It's-
Okay, great, we can pass these around. That's
Yeah.
great. Yes, Tracy, if you could just send them everybody. Okay, any further questions for Kevin? Comments? Okay, call the question, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No? Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, so we have, looks like, 4 requests for use of town property. Do we grab all these in one
Yes,
chunk?
I'll make one motion to accept all of them.
I'm just gonna mention the names
Yes.
though, so we know what
I'll
they are.
second it, and then you go ahead.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody. So we have on the table the request for use of town property from the Shoreline Chamber Economic Development Commission to use the green for annual tree lighting, November 30th. Also, the Community Nursery School to use the green and place a sign on the green advertising its Little Folks Fair, oh my goodness, June 1, 2019. Act on a request from the Rotary Club to use the green January 1 for its Frosty 5K road race. Hope everyone's in training. Act on the request of Starship Dance Theater to place a sign on the green advertising its Magic Toy Shop production taking place December 14th, 16th, December 2018. Okay?
Yep.
So there's a motion on the table for those 4 items. Any further questions or comments?
Just these are 4 traditional events that make up the fabric of our community. I'm glad to see them on the agenda.
Fabulous. Okay, wonderful, thank you. So all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Nay. I think we have a request for a couple comments from our Economic Development Director on the, regarding the tree lighting.
Yes, thank you very much for the approval. And Sue, like you said, this is just one of our annual events that, make up Guilford a special place. I just wanted to highlight a couple of things. You mentioned it's Friday, November 30th. A lot of people seem to believe it's the first Friday in December. And that's not really true. It's always the first full Friday after Thanksgiving. So in this case, it's Friday, November 30th. So we're getting calls questioning that, and I just wanted to clarify that.
Good.
The second thing is we've historically started around 6 o'clock. We're moving it up about 15 minutes to 5:45 because of a few of the performances that we have. So we need to just highlight that, and we'll start effectively at 5:45. And we've got dance performances, musical performances, and several different musical performances. I'm sure our first selectman will make an appearance along with Santa and probably a few others. And as you all know, if you've been there, you know, to me, it's like the hallmark moment of Guilford when you see it. I have the pleasure, I've emceed it for a few years, so when I stand on the stage and look out and see Guilford glittering, it's just an awesome time. And then I assume everybody knows all the other activities, but, you know, walking Broad Street, and then all the churches and the library and around the green have activities and events that I hope everybody can, you know, come out and enjoy. Hopefully we'll have decent weather, and it'll be a good fun night. And again, this is sponsored by our Shoreline Chamber, Park and Rec, and Economic Development, just to benefit the town. So, I thank you for your continued support, and come on out.
Can I ask, where would the public go to see a schedule of the events and the timing and so on?
Good point. Yeah, we do have it on the website. I'm gonna be revising it later today, just for some time things, but it'll be on our town website. We have it posted around Park and Rec, Town Hall. We'll get copies over to the library. Typically, the paper and the Zoe here, the paper usually picks it up, so we hope
Good.
to give everybody a full schedule.
Great,
And Tracy, announcements go out on Facebook as well?
Yep.
Fabulous. So if you're,
great.
whatever you are on Facebook, connected to the town, you would get that information directly? Terrific.
Okay, thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thanks, Brian.
Come out and have fun.
Can't wait.
Brings us to correspondence. I have one item that was in my mailbox. I don't know if everyone
Yes.
received it, a letter from, I'm just gonna mention it's from Carol Webb. Is that Edmond, Oklahoma?
Yes.
Edmond, Oklahoma. And so if everybody received the letter, I won't read it, but it's in public record. Any other correspondence? Anyone?
No.
Committee reports?
The Housing for Economic Development Plan Committee is intending to bring the next step of the proposed affordable housing development on the Woodruff Rollwood property to this board at our next regular meeting, which is November 19th. There are many steps in hopefully getting to a completed project, and this is for the selectmen to receive the report of the architects that the committee hired to do a second phase of the feasibility study for this particular site. So that'll be in 2 weeks.
Terrific. And I'll just mention the building official fee project is ongoing, unfortunately. We're gonna gather some more information for some other towns, but, so it's not quite ready to come out, but it's in process. Anybody else? Anybody working on anything? Any old business? Anyone?
No.
New business?
I have one thing under new business to bring up. I discussed this with the first selectman. A number of us on the board and several people on staff had the opportunity to attend the Conference of Municipalities Convention last week, which was a very productive day. But the reason I'm bringing it up is I felt that a common theme that ran through a lot of the workshops we attended was the idea of regionalization, shared services, town and Board of Ed, town and other towns, in order to improve efficiencies and reduce costs, and in many cases, improve the services we offer. And it's not, I don't know, it shouldn't be new business, it's not a new idea, but I feel that we need to start taking some steps in that direction. And every time you bring it up, any particular idea, there's a million reasons why it won't work. But I don't know where to start, but I feel that we need to take a look at something, start doing something. And I came up a number of times tonight. We discussed, bidding the fuel. Have we done that with other towns? When you start just thinking with that mindset, I think there are a lot of opportunities of things we can look at. The COGS, which are the since we don't really operate on counties in
Council
Connecticut,
would
these
operate.
are these are the sort of geographic collections of towns. A lot of them have done some pretty interesting things that if you do a little checking, you wonder how these things might apply to us. For example, online permitting, which relates to the project that you've both been working on, is being done in parts of town. There are just a lot of interesting things happening. I guess for a start, I think that we should always be asking the questions. Every time something new comes up, every time there's a position vacant due to a retirement, we should ask, is there a different way we can do this? Can we combine this with something else? I mean, I don't have any magic solutions, but I just wanted to bring that up for discussion. As a result of my conversation with the first selectman, who was also there, he sent around the study from Bloom Shapiro, the IT study. That was why he sent that out. It's several years old. I think it might have been 2014, so I
Right.
don't know how relevant it still is, but that was a study that was done about combining the entire IT function across town to try to make that more efficient and more cost-effective. I don't know if you've got any knowledge about where.
Well, not only,
that
you know,
one.
with other towns, I think, cooperation with Board of Ed.
Absolutely, and that's
you know,
what the study is about, yeah,
That's what,
yeah.
there's plenty of opportunity there. And I think Susan makes a very valid point, you know, such as what we were talking about the fuel, is ask the question in the beginning. And Matt's, you know, been part of this conversation, so I'm sure it's going to happen going forward, but we gotta start the conversation as early in the project or whatever's happening as possible.
Yes.
So that we're not down to 2 days before finalization and saying,
Why didn't we?
why didn't?
Yeah, exactly, second guessing. And it always comes up during budget season, and that's not the time to be bringing it up. The time to be bringing it up is all year long. So,
Good, great point. I mean, I think you can get to, you know, you can get the $250,000 of savings in one chunk or $25,000 savings, and it's the same amount of money.
Yeah,
So
it's a
Right.
semi-culture shift, you know,
Yeah.
you just have to,
pushing against
you know,
fashion.
like you're looking at the permitting in, you know, Town Hall South and everything. I mean, while we're making changes there, this is something that we could include.
It's an opportunity. That's great, okay. Anyone else? Any other new business? Thanks, Sue. That brings us to public forum, limited to 3 minutes on any issue of interest to the public. No, anyone? Second time asking, no? Okay, hearing nothing, I would solicit a motion to conclude our meeting.
So moved.
Second?
Thank you, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thanks.